Hello, everyone. Welcome to the WordPress Accessibility Day 2020. My name is Roberto Remedios. I live on San Jose, Costa Rica. Hello, everyone. I'm user experience and user interface designer. I'm also an advocate to accessibility. I have been working on accessibility a couple of years already. I found with a couple of friends a local meetup group here and a Facebook group, mostly material in Spanish. My native language is Spanish, so if you know the accent, sorry. Well, the next talk that we're gonna listen is the Gutenberg accessibility, a screen reader user perspective. The speaker will be Raghavendra Satish. Raghavendra is a digital accessibility evangelist. He works at the system as a senior accessibility consultant. He's always breaking the web and mobile accessibility challenges. He's author of an accessibility blog and is galvanizing the adoption of accessibility by inspiring the local tech community with meetups and mentorships. He propelled his thoughts by founding a Hello Alley and a community accessibility professionals. When he's away from his computer, we can find Raghava at the local cafes and restaurants, sampling cuisine, attending local meetups, these audiobooks, or writing on his personal blog. He also helped a small business. Also help a small business and individuals on digital training, marketing, and SEO consulting. He has been building websites and doing SEO consulting for more than 40 years. So please, let's welcome Raghavendra. Thank you.
Thank you, Roberto. Am I audible now?
And you have your presentation right now, and your presentation is full screen, so you're ready to go.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to WordPress Accessibility Day 2020. I'm excited to be here to sharing my views on Gutenberg accessibility. I'm a person with visual disability. My name is Raghavendra, and I'll be sharing some of my insights as a person with disability who is using Gutenberg. I've been building websites on WordPress for about 12 years now, and just because it's easy to build websites on WordPress. Like I fell in love with WordPress. I worked with Joomla, I worked with Drupal, uh, and other CMS, content management systems, but I fell in love with WordPress about 12 years back when I initially started with web. And as Roberto introduced, I work with Deck Systems as a senior accessibility consultant. I also run a meetup community called Hello 11Y, hello11y.com. And we do a lot of meetups and small conferences here in India to nurture accessibility and promote accessibility within the tech community. So today's agenda is going to be about Gutenberg accessibility. We all know that Gutenberg is a rich editor that is introduced into WordPress, and I'll be taking you through some of the accessibility challenges, usability challenges, like how people with screen readers and people with disabilities perceive content, and some of my insights on how I uh, work with Gutenberg, and basically how I work with content more for my blogs that I run. I run about 5 to 6 blogs actively, and Earlier, about few years back, I used to own and run more than about 20, 25 web blogs. Uh, Basically, I'm into affiliate marketing, search optimization also. So that's where all my experience working with content editing and content management comes. So today's agenda is going to be why Gutenberg needs yeah, a learning curve. So even as a power screen reader user, when I mean a power screen reader user, I've been using screen reader for about 15 years now, since 2005 2006. I'm not born blind. I became blind at a later stage in my life due to retinitis pigmentosa, a genetical disorder. So I've been losing my eyesight for a while, and I've been a low vision user. I used screen magnification software like Magic, and then slowly I transitioned in using screen readers full time, like JAWS and NVDA, which I regularly use now as part of my job and day-to-day activities on the computer. So even as a person with power screen reader user, like I've been using for 15 years the screen reader. Even for me, when I initially started with Gutenberg, it needs a lot of learning curve. Yeah, because there were no tutorials on how to use Gutenberg with a screen reader. So I'll be demoing some of these challenges, like as soon as you get onto the editing part of the uh, post, what happens really, and how what are the challenges that I faced. So, so how to work with Gutenberg using a screen reader, we'll be walking through a demo, and the usability challenges, and then the some of the accessibility challenges that I have seen in Gutenberg. So what is Gutenberg? So Gutenberg is introduced in WordPress 5.2. It is a rich editor, and in my perspective, what I have seen is it's you basically being used to create rich content. When I say rich content, it's not just headings, lists, paragraphs. Great design also, the topography or the layouts, and and it has evolved. Like it came into existence in WordPress 5.2, and right now the version for WordPress 5.5 is running, and the core Gutenberg plugin gets updated every once in 2 weeks, and with every major update, the core is merged into WordPress core. So what I have seen is there's a collection of blogs. When initially the collection when everyone started talking about Gutenberg and saying it's a block based design, as a person with disability, I did not understand what is a block. So when I was reading articles on other blogs and websites, they said heading block, paragraph block, or all the list block. I did not understand what is a block. Theoretically, it was very difficult to understand what was a block. Then when I started working with Gutenberg, then I got a clear picture that every section of the uh, content area is designated a block, is called a block. Like you create a heading, it is a block on its own. You have a paragraph, it's a block on its own. And Gutenberg gives a lot of control over the content and the layout of these blocks. So you can customize all the font size, color, uh, and styling of all the fonts and all. So these are some of the options that I have seen. And from the technical standpoint, like for a person with visual disability, it was not very useful for me to go and edit, because I'm not sure what exactly what the color is going to be on the front end. And also I normally generally use the basic themes settings that are there. So we all know that the Gutenberg accessibility story, it's merged with 5.0. There was a lot of pushback from the accessibility community, and A lot of accessibility professionals and the wider community itself said that it should not be merged with 5.0 because it's not mature. And what there were a lot of articles on the web where it was told that it was written uh, that the design aspect, like accessibility, is not considered from the start. But what I see is with a 2 week, uh, every 2 weeks development cycle and being pushed every 2 weeks, it's very difficult to keep up with both accessibility, design, development, and fixes of accessibility bugs and all that. So there were a lot of challenges because there were a lot of moving parts. But uh, after 2 years, and what happened in 2019 is WP campus called for an independent audit by an agency, and the agency provided it results, and we had like close to 300 accessibility bugs that were found, that were found on the Gutenberg. And the Gutenberg was audited not on the plugin but was on the core that was merged with WordPress. So what did the WP campus audit show? It showed like considerable amount of accessibility bugs. There were more than 300 accessibility bugs. Like a couple of more of these bugs were related to authoring tool where you upload a video and there is no way to provide caption. So some of these are authoring tool challenges and some of them are pure accessibility bugs. And after the WP campus audit, there are a lot of bug fixes on the way, and the accessibility team started, the development team started fixing a lot of these accessibility bugs. And we have seen, I've personally seen some of these accessibility fix being in place during the subsequent Gutenberg plugin releases and in the core merge also. And if you go to GitHub, I provided the link here. There are couple of significant more accessibility bugs still that are open, and some of these bugs are like pure technical related. Maybe as a person with disability you might not be uh, finding it very difficult to navigate, but they are technically an accessibility bug, that's why they are called upon. So what how Gutenberg is uh, very difficult, like it, as I said in the previously, it's very difficult for screen reader users. So what I did is, as a person with a visual disability, I work with a lot of other people with disability in the local community. So me and couple of my friends who are all screen reader users, and some of these people are accessibility specialists. So what I did, I gave them the I installed the Gutenberg plugin, and I, I studied them how they're going to use. And some of the power screen readers users found it very difficult. They did not understand, but like there are a lot of elements. Like as soon as you open the post screen, add new post screen, there are a lot of elements, and you click on add block, and your focus moves to a search field. So they are like caught off guard completely. So we are going to discuss some of these during the demo. Like I'll be running a demo of how I use Gutenberg, and how it is very different from our classic editor. What happens in our classic editor is like you have the title screen, and you have the content area where you type in the content. Or generally what happens is, as a person with disability, we generally use Microsoft Word, and we type in our content, and then we put it in the classic editor, and we use shortcut keys in the classic editor to give a heading, paragraph, and block quote and other markup to the content that we created. So it was pretty easy for us. And some of them said uh, that we know HTML. So what they do is they use the classic editor text mode instead of visual editor, and they mark up the content directly in Microsoft Word, and they just put it in the editor and just publish the content. And that's where, as a screen reader user, it needs a lot of learning curve here. And it's a lot of visual aspect. Gutenberg, as I said earlier, it's there to create great visual design. But as a person with disability and who has been writing content for more than 12 to 14 years, I did not find it like, for me, it's just headings, paragraph, less. It's more of content than visual aspect of the. So one of the challenges that we also faced is with regard to the block definitions. So some of the blocks, like if you go onto the Gutenberg search area and uh, go category by category, there are some of these blocks like markdown block, or some of the quote, or it's a separator, or so there are some of these blocks that we do not understand what exactly that block does. Okay, so some of these blocks for which we tried to find definition and we were not able to find. So we felt that, if there is a help, what exactly this block does, like how it is going to show up in the front end, it would have been very helpful for us to use some of these blocks. So I'm going to show a demo right now. So Robert, I'll be sharing my uh, screen reader sound over the Zoom so that people will be able to hear what I'm navigating.
Yeah, the thing is, let me talk with the administrator, because I think what you are sharing is your computer sound.
Yes.
Maybe can you place your mic close to the screen reader?
Okay.
Tab, leaving menus, bottom button to activate, press space bar. Shift tab, more button drop down.
You able to hear my screen reader?
More button drop down.
Yes, we hear your screen reader.
Windows M, desktop, full tab, taskbar, Google Chrome, -1 running, win space. Edit post, single left pointing angle, quotation mark, digital label, num lock off, num lock on, num lock off, virtual PC cursor.
So I'm here on a screen. This is a post. I created a demo post here. So first, to get a feel of this particular page, this screen, I use headings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Home to go to the top of the page.
Edit post, single left pointing angle, quotation mark, digital label, WordPress.
And then
Slower.
I'm going to press H.
Edit post heading level 1. Scripts heading level 2. Status and visibility heading level 2 button expanded. Permalink heading level 2 button expanded. View post heading level 3. Categories heading level 2 button expanded. Tags heading level 2 button collapsed. Featured image heading level 2 button collapsed. Excerpt heading level 2 button collapsed. Discussion heading level 2 button collapsed. Link suggestions heading level 2 clickable. Wrapping to top. Edit post heading level 1.
So I know I'm at the edit post, then I'm going to press Tab here.
Tab. Document tools toolbar read only. Add block toggle button.
So that's a toolbar. So as soon as I hear that it's a toolbar, as a person with screen reader user, I know that I have to use arrow keys to navigate. Let's see what happens.
Tool. Undo button to add. Redo button unavailable. Content structure button collapse. Block navigation button. Add block toggle button. Tools button collapsed. To activate, press space bar. Undo button.
So
Tools button.
let's add a block.
Add block toggle button. Enter. Toggle button pressed. Search for a block. Block library region. Search for a block. Edit. Search for a block. Type in text. 110 results found.
Okay.
Tab. Blocks tab selected. Use JAWS key plus Alt plus M to move the controlled element. 1 of 3.
So if you see here, there are 3 tabs. One is blocks.
Patterns tab selected. Use JAWS key plus.
These are block patterns.
Reusable tab selected. Use JAWS.
And reusable blocks. So one of the things that confused me is about these block patterns and the block templates. So uh, after reading a lot of articles and tutorials, I came to understand that these are some of the pre-designed templates that a person can use. Just select one of these block pattern, and you can the visual aspect of the pattern will appear in the front end, and just you need to update the content. So it was very difficult to understand when the blocks came. It took me a while to understand, and then block patterns is something again it's confusing for me. So let's go to blocks.
Blocks tab. Select a news tab. Blocks tab panel. Text list box. Markdown. 1 of 11.
Okay.
Paragraph. Heading. List. Quote. 5 of 11. Code. 6 of 11.
Okay, let's
Quote. 5 of 11. Enter. Editor content region. Add block tools. Add title demo content. Right heading. Paragraph block. Right heading. Paragraph block. Empty block. Semicolon. Start writing or type forward slash to choose a block. Block colon quote. Add block colon quote. Right quote. Edit contains text. Type in text. Percent D. Right quote. Edit contains text. Empty block. Semicolon. Start writing or block colon quote. Right quote. Edit contains text. Type in text. Right citation. Edit. Right quote. Edit contains text. Type in text. Home. Selected. Out of table. Right citation. Edit contain. Right quote. Edit contains text. Type in text.
okay. Okay.
Home. Selected. This is an example quote.
Okay. So I wrote a quote. So what if I want to insert a list block inside this particular quote? I don't know. I still did not able to figure out. I was not able to figure out how to embed one block inside another. Like generally what I do is like I write the HTML markup. It's easy for me. But if I have to put a list block inside this code, block code, I don't know how to do it. Let's see if there is an option.
Shift tab. Block colon quote. Shift tab. Add block tools. Block tools toolbar read only. Change block type or style button menu. Press space.
So I'm here on the block tools. So there are some accessibility challenges with this particular version of Gutenberg on the core right now. So
Space.
I press space.
Change block type or style button menu. Press space to activate the menu. Then navigate with arrow keys. Add title. Edit contains text. Type in text.
I press space. I'm not sure.
Demo content. Demo content. Add title.
We're on the title right now.
Yeah, the focus has completely shifted. I was trying to expand the more tools.
Edit. Add title. Edit. Add title.
Okay.
Tab. Right heading. Edit contains text. Type in text. Space.
Space.
Shift tab. Add block tools. Block tools toolbar read only. Change block type or style button menu. Press space to activate the menu. Then navigate with arrow keys.
I'm going to press spacebar here.
Space. Expanded menu. Change block type or style menu. To move through items, press up or down arrow.
It said expanded. Okay. I'm pressing down arrow here. I'm not sure if something is happening over there.
Yes, you have several options about paragraph, group, full quote, but they are not accessible at this point.
Yeah. Yes. So none of them are red, and one of this
escape leaving menus, editor content region, add block,
and it's very difficult. One of the challenge that we face is like creating content directly in Gutenberg. Now, if I have to keep adding, like, just imagine I have like 10 paragraphs with 10 headings. If I have to go through the process of
escape virtual
building each block, inputting content.
Edit, add title. Add title.
One more challenge that I face is
demo content. Right heading. Edit contains text. Type in text.
I'm inside this heading, but if I press down arrow from here, it moves to the
paragraph block. Edit contains text.
Next
paragraph.
Next block.
Right heading. Edit contains text. Type in text.
And
home. Right heading. Hello world. Edit.
So if generally what happens is like when I use up and down arrow, I expect the content to be read in an edit area. But here what is happening is we move from block to block. And if I want to select the content in this particular heading, suppose, generally in an edit area, I do Control A. What happens is it select all the blocks.
Hello world. 6 blocks selected. Main region. Editor content region. Add block tools. Add title demo.
So if you see, it selected all the 6 blocks that are there in the
escape. Edit post single left pointing. Edit post add type.
So I'm going back to this one.
Right heading. Edit contains text. Type in text.
So
escape. Virtual PC cursor. Escape. Tab. Right heading. Button. Paragraph block. Row 2. This is a paragraph block. We are trying to demo this with screen reader.
So this is one of the features that I really loved about Gutenberg, where you shift tab.
Shift tab. Right heading. Button. Heading block. Row 1. Level 2.
So there are like 6 blocks. I know row 1, row 2, it reads out this is a paragraph. So once the blocks are in place, the hierarchy is easily understood. But creating content inside a Gutenberg, it's becoming very difficult. Because generally we create content, like me and my friends or any or all the people who manage this blog, we create content in a Word document, and we edit, we do spell check in Microsoft Word, we edit everything, and we put it on a Google Sheets. People take it from there, and then we used to put it in the classifier, format it, publish it. But now taking each piece of content, like copying each paragraph or heading into this one, became difficult. So now what we are doing is we are using the code editor. So what I do is, like, I press Alt Control Shift M.
Alt Control Shift M. Right heading. Code editor selected. Edit post single left point. Add title edit and add type. Tab. Type text or less H2 greater. This is a heading less slash H2 greater.
So what we do is we put the content here, then we do the HTML markup on our own. We are not using the block editor as much as we are supposed to use. So generally what we do, we create a
Alt Control Shift M. Edit post.
we create a block.
Edit collapse main menu. Add block toggle button. Enter.
We select the classic block.
Main region. Block library. LASIC. Tab. Reset search button. Tab. Tab. Blocks tab. Selected. Use JAWS key plus tab. Blocks tab panel. Text list box. Classic. 1 of 1. Enter. Editor content region. Block colon classic. Block colon classic. Edit. Add to right heading. Right heading. Right head paragraph. Right head paragraph. Block empty block semicolon. Start writing or right quote. Edit. Block colon classic. Classic. Edit.
So
Toolbar blank. Edit.
So we take the classic block, we paste all the content here, then we go back to the code editor using Alt Control Shift M. We give the markup, the necessary markup, or we use some of these rich text tools here.
Shift tab. Block colon classic. Shift tab. Add tab. Block colon classic. Toolbar with paragraph button menu.
So it's been easy, you know,
Bold left parent control.
because
Italic left parent control.
so it is easy to mark up paragraph, italics, bold.
Bulleted list left parent numbered list left block with left parent align left parent align center align right left insert slash edit link left parent control.
So this has been very easy to do. Otherwise, it's becoming very difficult for us to navigate within blocks, select content, then put it here. And some of the other challenges that we face is with the plugins. Now, one of the confusion that we ran into is understanding the block structures.
Block code block nav insert toolbar end save draft button preview blink left parent opens publish button collapsed. Settings toggle button.
So this settings, we thought this settings is part of something to do with Gutenberg. I did not realize these are post settings.
Settings toggle button.
So if I select
Enter.
this post, this setting,
publish button collapsed. Settings toggle button pressed.
So all the
insert classic heading level 2 scripts heading level edit post heading level wrapping to bottom classic heading level 2 % blank notifications blank classic heading level 2 scripts heading level 2 toggle blank table with 2 header scripts clickable edit the add tool undo content block nav insert layout but save draft button preview button collapsed save draft button enter saving preview button collapsed settings toggle button pressed space main scripts heading level 2 wrapping to top edit post heading level % block blank notification blank main reach list end classic current right word 0 document button block breadcrumb list of 2 items document button block breadcrumb list of 2 items open publish panel button collapsed open document settings button collapsed blank table end combo box bottom colon before closing table blank open document settings button collapsed space list document button block left parent selected right parent classic heading level 2 wrapping to top edit post heading % document button open publish panel button collapsed enter main region visibility colon public heading publish colon immediately at suggestion colon add tags share this post heading level.
So if you see, all these settings are hidden inside this button. It's been very difficult to find some of these settings for us. In the classic editor, it has been very easy. Like you have the classic editor, you have the categories, you have the sharing settings, you have the Yoast or rank math, the SEO snippet where you can edit everything. It's just one screen with what you want to show on your screen or not. Like in the screen settings, we used to customize them in the screen settings, show these custom meta boxes, and we used to edit them. But after the Gutenberg, it was difficult. Like one particular time we spent half an hour trying to find where the categories heading was, because it was assigned to a default uncategorized category, one article. So we were trying to find out where the categories is. It became very difficult for us to
Before
find.
you hit featured image heading level 2, share this post heading level 2 button expanded. Suggestion colon add tags head.
For regular users, we get lost at the beginning with all the interface.
Yeah. So it's been very difficult for us like that. And
Edit collapse add tool undo content struct block navigation button collapsed. Content structure button collapsed.
so content structure, this one, I understood at a very later stage. It gives out the structure of the content, like which headings, paragraphs you have. But all this needs a lot of learning curve, and there are no tutorials like how to see. There's a specific way we are taught how to use screen readers on the web during one of our like me and our friends, we gone through professional training because we are late blind people, and they are taught like how to use screen reader on the web. But after a while you get hang of it, how things are laid out on the web. But all this is so confusing because there are so many moving.
Block navigation button circle toolbar end preview button link left parent opens in a new
And this preview also,
preview button tab editor top bar left shift tab preview button collapsed space
I expand it,
tab menu to move through items.
nothing happens there also, even in the preview. And I think this preview,
PC cursor.
I'm not sure if it is broken or
To
if
move
it is
through item.
inaccessible,
Tab
because when I press enter,
enter. Title is edit post single left pointing tab P equals 4206 and P shift tab P equals 40 tab PC cursor.
I don't know,
To move through items press up or down arrow.
it is stuck.
To move through tab P equals 4206 and preview equals true.
It reads some code. So I'm not able to preview my posts also properly most of the time.
Escape leaving menus editor top bar region preview button.
The preview button is also not accessible.
Virtual PC link left parent opens in a new tab right parent. Publish button expanded. Settings toggle button press Genesis toggle but rank math toggle button.
So these been, after I understood what settings, what Genesis,
Jetpack toggle
what
button.
all these things do, I understood all the options of these other block related plugin are here. So
More
if I
jetpack
select
toggle button.
Jetpack,
Enter.
I know that all the
Jetpack toggle button pressed. Before you hit publish, please refresh the file. Scripts heading share this post heading social previews heading level 2 button likes and sharing heading
so
level
all
2
the
button.
Jetpack related options come here. I understood that as soon as I press rank math above.
Edit collab add tool undo content block insert layout change block move up button more option preview button collab publish button expanded settings toggle button Genesis toggle button rank math toggle button. Enter.
So what I'm doing is
Rank
I'm
math.
using the button B, the keystroke B to move from button to button.
Scripts heading level focus keyword heading level 2 basic AO6 errors heading level 2 button expanded.
So I'm pressing H to go to the headings.
Additional 7 errors heading level 2 button collapsed. Title readability 2 errors heading level 2
So
button.
this has been pretty easy once I understood the layout of this, how the block plugins work. I understood that the plugins are they come in the top region, and I have to activate them and select the options.
11:05 a.m.
I think this is pretty much what I wanted to show, like some of these accessibility and usability challenges. I think we can go for questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the demo. I mean, it has been really, really nice. Get a real vision of people who interact with the Gutenberg usability. I mean, for regular users, for most of the users at the beginning, it's kind of difficult because there is like a lot of stuff to learn. I mean, visually it looks very clean. It looks very simple, but I think it's a lot more complicated than the regular editor. Even a pro tip: when you create content, you can paste all your content on the classic editor and then convert your classic editor into all the different blocks. And most of the times, WordPress will translate all your different content, but yes, it's difficult. And about the plugins, I mean, most of the plugins are available as a block, and then you call the plugin, but then you need to make configurations on the same plugin. So it's very difficult. Let's start with the first question. The first question is, will you find useful to have easy options to disable blocks that you can't or you don't wish to use?
So there are too many blocks. I think it's not the question of disabling the blocks. Like I think there are very few blocks that I use on all my websites. So sometimes I might use the Jetpack, Eventbrite, the Calendarly block. I use them rarely, but I need them. So disabling is not an option, but um, maybe the way I want to approach the content itself should be a little different, because I don't use all these blocks all the time and all the options. Robert?
Yes, sorry.
Alert.
Oh, over here. Okay, the next question actually is my personal question and is away from the native blocks because there is a lot of native blocks. Did you find the other blocks, the plugin blocks accessible? For example, WooCommerce, Joe's SEO, the Gravity Forms, Contact Form 7, stuff that you usually use a lot to create content. Are they friendly with screen readers or not?
Okay, WooCommerce, I'm playing with WooCommerce right now, and Contact Form 7, I'm not using it right now because I tend to use the Jetpack forms. Jetpack forms are very accessible, and MailChimp block is accessible. Rank Math SEO, Yoast SEO, and there are other plugins that are very accessible, like the Atomic blocks from Studio Press. They are accessible. The accordions, the testimonials block, and the author block. So most of the blocks that are coming, the blocks are whatever I encountered are very accessible. Like creating content has been very easy inside them.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question, it will be, do you find any particular combination of a screen reader and browser to be better?
I use JAWS plus Chrome, NVDA plus Chrome. These are my default screen reader combination. Uh, I used to use NVDA plus Firefox earlier, but now I prefer NVIDIA plus Chrome. It's more supported, and I come from that era where I learned the screen readers using JAWS, so it's a very little difficult transition for me to use full time NVDA. So I tend to use JAWS a lot when I'm not doing accessibility testing, but when I do accessibility testing specifically for my clients, or I'm testing some widget for accessibility, I tend to use NVIDIA plus Chrome.
Okay, thank you. We have a last question is, unexpected changes of focus are one of the WordPress accessibility team common complaints about Gutenberg. How often or rarely do you feel that happen in your usage of Gutenberg?
Robert, can you repeat the question? How
Yes,
often?
but like the unexpected changes on from one element to another one, the focus is one of the main complaints of Gutenberg. How often did you get that? That do you think you are on one specific place or want to go to another place and it's not working properly?
So the major problem that you run into Gutenberg is first you need to understand how this Gutenberg is laid out. Like you being a person with screen reader user, or you can be even a sighted person, just can't open Gutenberg and understand it instantly. Like I run the Hyderabad blogging club also here. I run a club full of bloggers, and most of them are I think I'm the only person with disability. Me and another friend are the only person with disability in that club, and a lot of them are sighted. And when the Gutenberg came in, they are like, is there a way to switch back to the classifier? Is the question they asked. So we told about the classifier plugin, but a lot of them did not transition to Gutenberg immediately. That took a long time to understand. Like we did a lot of workshops with them to make them understand how Gutenberg works and how it helps with the design and all that. And now they fell in love with the Gutenberg. They don't want to transition back to classifier. So because it was so easy for them to create stories, it was visual stories, storytelling and all that. It became very easy for them to create. So they don't want to transition back to the classifier. They're using Gutenberg. It takes a lot of time to learn Gutenberg. That's the only aspect here. And as a person with screen reader as a disability and a screen reader user, it took a lot of time for me to understand Gutenberg end to end. Like now I can create blogs, content and all. It's just little difficult for me to manage content rather than create content. Like if I have to copy each paragraph from Word, Microsoft Word and put it here into create one block, put it inside that block, then go back to Word again, come back here, put it in a heading. It's taking too much of my time.
Awesome, thank you. Well, we don't have more questions this moment, so please, the people who is watching this over YouTube, feel free to add your questions into the YouTube chat, and we will answer that on the presentation. Meantime, maybe I have a last question because we have another 10 minutes, maybe. What what did you recommend for people who is blind, who have the disability, to interact directly with Gutenberg? You already say it takes a lot of time, not just to understand how Gutenberg works, but create content beyond the tip that you already give. Create your content on a Word document and paste it into WordPress. What other kind of tip did you have for the people?
So one of the other thing is, as you said earlier, what I do is like I create the content, I put it in the classic block, classifier. Then I use this plugin called, I think, bulk Gutenberg. So you change all the posts into blocks. So I converted my old posts and new posts. I put them as a regular classic block and then I convert them into blocks. So what I also did is right now I had a virtual assistant who is helping me with, who's a sighted person helping me with all the visual aspect of the block, design aspect. Like I only concentrate on the content and they take care of the pictures, the visual aspect of all the other things.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And maybe the last question, because we don't get any other one, and I have always questions. If you run as a lead of the WordPress project at this moment, and you decide, let's do this 100% accessible, where did you focus to make Gutenberg and this experience more accessible? What do you want to see on the future, or what do you want to see on Gutenberg to be more accessible?
If you ask me, like what I am thinking is, as I said, I want to create content in Microsoft Word. Just come here, put it, and then work on the formatting, and then maybe a button or option where it will convert everything into blocks, and then I hand over it to my design team. So basically, I come from the content aspect of this, and as a person with a visual disability, I don't know if I insert a picture, I don't know where I'm inserting it, or what is is it taking completely over, what is the cropping of the image, uh, where it is it placed to the left or right, all that aspect. So I normally tend to leave all the design decisions to the design team and then just work on the content aspect. So if you ask me right now, what I would want to see is I just want to see uh, like how this classic block is there right now. If I want to input the content, I want to input here, format it, then a button or an option just to convert everything into blocks, and then where the design team can take it forward from there. It should be easy for me to publish content, format content, uh, edit content also. One of the main challenges that we are facing right now is with the editing of the content. So once we put all the content into blocks, uh, editing of the content is becoming very difficult. Like you want to edit a certain line in a particular paragraph. Earlier, what we used to do is we used to copy all the content into Microsoft Word from the classic editor, do Control F, look for that particular keyword, and wherever we are supposed to edit them, and edit and just put it back into the editor. But now with the Gutenberg, it's like I have 4 paragraphs, 4 headings, couple of lists. It became very difficult for us to edit the content. And if I copy from the code editor, all the HTML code also comes in. So it's just not really working out. So it should become easy for us to edit content in the Gutenberg.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Great. This talk has been amazing. I think that's all for tonight, guys. Please, let's thank Ravandish, and let's remember we are going to have our next talk on basically 10 minutes, 6 UTC time. It will be accessibility by default authoring tools by Susanna Laudi. It will be on the same channel. So let's gonna take a little break, and we will see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. I'll be updating my presentation and give it to the team here, and you can all follow me on Twitter and other accessible, all the other channels.